And happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. I'm Rachel Garceau. With temperatures dropping and snow settling in over the mountains, winter, of course, the perfect time to cozy up to the fireplace and read a good book. But for one local woman, it's not reading books that will keep her busy this winter, but writing them. In this week's Made in Idaho, I catch up with a local author whose prolific collection of novels puts Idaho in the literary spotlight. Local novelist Robin Lee Hatcher didn't start out in life as an author, but she was born a storyteller.
What I call my career began was when I told my fifth grade friends that my mother was born in a covered wagon coming west. She was 47, so she certainly seemed old enough.
Hatcher's fondness for tall tales like that one, combined with a voracious appetite for reading, planted a seed in the Boisean's brain about someday writing a book. Then in 1981, Hatcher put pen to paper after getting inspired by someone else who had taken the literary leap.
Read an article in a newspaper in the Idaho Statesman about someone whose first book had been published. And I'd had this idea rolling around in my head, and I thought, gosh, if they could do it, maybe I could do it.
Just 3 years later, Hatcher had not one, but 2 books published. And since then, she's written almost 80 other novels, nearly all of them set right here in the Gem State.
I love my state. I'm a native, and I love it from up at the Panhandle to eastern Idaho to the desert, the mountains. So I love being able to show it to other people. Kings Meadow is based on Garden Valley. Idaho City has been the location for a couple of historicals.
And while Hatcher does sometimes change the names and the topography of certain Idaho gems to fit her fiction, if she's writing about the state's capital city, you'll know it.
Of course, if I'm writing about Boise, Boise's really Boise.
Which then sends many readers on a mental or actual scavenger hunt, trying to figure out the places Hatcher's stories are written around.
My very first contemporary novel was The Forgiving Hour, and it was set in Boise. And people had so much fun. I mentioned a greasy spoon, which is where a significant part of the story, a turning point happens. And there was a lot of trying to figure out what was the greasy spoon that I was referring to.
Readers will also find that Hatcher likes to dabble in different eras, from modern day to centuries past.
So I've written a lot of historicals, 1800s, World War II, World War I era.
Hatcher's books are written mostly in the genre of Christian fiction, and most have a love story at the center. And while faith and romance are central to Hatcher's stories, this Made in Idaho author says there's one theme in particular she hopes her readers pick up on.
I would say that always my books are about hope.
Such a nice woman, yeah, with just a really great story. She's been writing for years. And so, yes, most of her books are set here in Idaho, but they reach a global audience. They've been translated, many of them, into other languages and other countries around the entire world. She doesn't even really know how many different countries her books are in right now. Isn't that impressive? Yeah. So Idaho traveling the world in her novels.
And that's written over 80 books already.
Books. 2 more coming out this summer. So it's a full-time job. I mean, Monday through Friday, she says she has a schedule. And she writes, and she still loves it.
I'm going to have to look for them at the library.
Yes. So fun. And I think they're nice, quick, easy reads as well. So, yeah.